Good evening. The meeting is called to order. Our first item is the approval of the minutes of January 31st. May I have a motion for approval, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, abstention, the motion carries. Thank you. Please note that there is a revised policy agenda with new items 17 through 20. I will now call on Vice Chancellor Ginger Waters to introduce item B1, a naming at Bronx Community College.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you know, Dr. Carolyn G. Williams has indicated her desire to retire from the presidency of Bronx Community College at the end of this academic year. In recognition and appreciation for her 15 years of service and the extraordinary and transformational advancements that have been made to Bronx Community College under her leadership, the Chancellor is recommending that the Board approve the naming of the Carolyn G. Williams Reading Room in the library of the new North Instructional Building at Bronx Community College, which will be open in the fall of 2012.
Thank you. And as chair, I'd like to take a point of order and privilege. I got introduced to the City University through Carolyn Williams, so you can either blame her or bless her, depending upon that. But
it would only be a blame if it involved me.
And so I want to take a personal opportunity to say thank you, President Williams. It has been my extreme pleasure to have known you these past many years, and I should shut up and let them pass the resolution, but I want to tell you that it has been an honor to know you as a colleague, as a friend, and as a sister girl, as they would say. So thank you very much. So with that, I'd like to have a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you and congratulations, Dr. Williams. And would you like to address the body?
Thank you very much. I truly am very, very honored to have this room named after me. I had the opportunity to walk through the building about a week ago, and I have to tell you, it is such a beautiful building, and it is so fitting for our campus, and our students are so deserving, and to have that space named after me is indeed a great, great honor, and I thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now move to the policy calendar, which we have already voted on. The first item, Executive Vice President and Provost Lexa Loeb will present the next group of items, the appointments of 6 distinguished professors. 5 distinguished professors.
Okay. The first one is Paul Attewell, who has served as a member of the CUNY doctoral faculty since 1990. He's a nationally and internationally recognized scholar in the sociology of education who's highly regarded for his work on inequality and stratification and on the social impact of information technology. He's a prolific author. The book that he co-authored with Professor David Lavin, Passing the Torch to Higher Education for the Disadvantaged, Paid Off Across the Generations, which was published by Russell Sage Press in 2007, received 2 of the most prestigious awards in its field, recognition from the American Educational Research Association as Outstanding Book of the Year, and the University of Louisville's Grawemeyer Award in Education. Professor Attewell's research has attracted prodigious funding from the Gates Foundation, the Mellon Foundation, and the National Science Foundation, as well as others.
Thank you.
Okay, the next, should I keep going?
Yes, please.
The next one is Professor Godfrey Smith, Peter Godfrey Smith, who comes to CUNY from Harvard University's Department of Philosophy. He's an internationally renowned scholar in the philosophy of biology and the philosophy of the mind. His primary research interests are biology, including evolution, behavioral biology, and ecology, and pragmatism and epistemology. Professor Godfrey Smith has written 3 books to date. The most recent is Darwinian Populations and Natural Selection, published by Oxford in 2009. For which he won the Lakatos Award, the most prestigious prize in the philosophy of science. The next one is Professor David Sorkin, who comes to CUNY from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where he's the Francis and Lawrence Weinstein Professor of Jewish Studies and Professor of History. He is recognized as a renowned scholar of modern Jewish history, and he's also an eminent European intellectual historian. Professor Sorkin has published 4 books to date, including most recently The Religious Enlightenment, Protestants, Jews, and Catholics from London to Vienna, published by Princeton University Press in 2008. Among the many honors that he's received are a John Simon Guggenheim Memorial Foundation Fellowship, a National Endowment for the Humanities Fellowship for University Teachers, and a National Jewish Book Award for Scholarship. The next one is Dr. Peter Kuan, who has been at Hunter College since 1993. He plays a leading role in several social science disciplines. He is a major figure in the emerging discipline of Asian American studies. He's a prolific scholar. He's co-authored or co-authored no fewer than 5 books. He's received particular recognition for Chinese America, the untold story of America's oldest new community, co-authored with Dusanka Mickovic, published by New Press in 2005, and Forbidden Workers, Chinese Illegal Immigrants and American Labor, published by New Press in 1998. His record also includes many film credits, including co-production of China's unnatural disaster, Tears of Sichuan Province, which was an HBO documentary that was nominated for the 2010 Academy Award. I know, these are amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, phenomenal.
Okay, and the last one is Dr. V. Parameswaran Nair, who has worked at City College since 1993. He's a recipient of grant support from the National Science Foundation since 1993, which is absolutely, that is amazing to have continuous grant support from NSF that long. Professor Nair has achieved an exceptional high level of success and prominence for his theoretical work in high-energy physics, with forays into mathematical physics. His most recent work is related to the Casimir effect. He's published 125 research articles, 20 of them in the last 5 years. His research support from federal agencies continues to impress at a time when it has become extremely difficult to obtain support for theoretical research in high-energy physics. Beyond all of this, Professor Nair is known within the CUNY community for his exemplary commitment to his department, which he served as chair in a distinguished fashion.
Thank you. I'd like to move those 5 and just say it will be an honor to have them join along with our most distinguished professor, Alexandra Logue, who is today just demonstrated her brilliance. And so I want to thank you on behalf of this committee and all of us. So having these additional people join you today is my pleasure and honor. And so I move for the a motion to approve these 5 distinguished professors.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second. It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? The motion carries. Thank you very much, and thank you, Dr. Logue.
Thank you.
I will now call on Dr. Jeffrey Peck, Dean of the Weizmann School of Arts and Sciences, to introduce item 1B7, a named chair at Baruch College.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm Jeffrey Peck, Dean of the Weizmann School of Arts and Sciences at Baruch College. I'm here today to seek approval of the first endowed chair in the Weizmann School of Arts and Sciences, named the Valentin Lizani Pataguet Chair in Black and Hispanic Studies. And it will be in the Department of Black and Hispanic Studies at the Weizmann School. The donor is Hedwig Veit, who is the wife of Charles Veit, who's a Baruch alumnus, and a founding member of the Baruch College Fund. Mr. and Mrs. Veit have created a number of important programs at Baruch College, the Veit Seminar, the Bernard Chase Freshman Seminar in honor of former dean of the Weizmann School, and the Paul and Greg Veit Lecture Series in Latin American Studies. She herself teaches as an adjunct lecturer in the department. She is pledged to endow the chair with 2.5 million, et cetera, in terms of the endowment, and I seek approval of that being chair.
Thank you. May I have a vote for approval?
So moved.
second?
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, the motion carries. Thank you very much. Gail Scoville, Special Counsel to the President, join us to present items 1B8 on behalf of Hunter College.
Thank you. I have the privilege of presenting 5 naming resolutions today. 3 of them are in connection with our library renovation project, and one of them is a match to a student gift, which was very exciting for us. So the 5 namings brought a total of $1.5 million in donations.
And you may present all 5 of them at the same time. Thank you. You can just read them.
The Dorothy Krieger Macaulay Honor Suite at Hunter College, the Barbara Lang Study Commons at Hunter College, the Sidney Miller Student Lounge at Hunter College, the Hirschwell Gilder Information Commons at Hunter College, and finally, the Thomas Hunter Professor at Hunter College.
Thank you. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the motion carries. Thank you very much.
Is Jeremy Travis here?
Jeremy, I saw in the other room. President Travis? He left? Can you come on his behalf? Please introduce yourself and the resolution.
I'm Jane Bowers, I'm Provost of John Jay College. This is a resolution to amend the college charter, and the amendment is on page 5 of the attachment to the resolution, and it's the part that's underlined in section 9, part E. It's to add the phrase, it shall, and this is the Committee on Faculty Personnel, it shall also receive from departmental personnel and budget committees recommendations for promotions and reappointments with or without tenure, together with compensation, et cetera, et cetera. The purpose of this resolution is to amend our charter. This will memorialize our longstanding procedure for promotion of a faculty member to full professor. The proposed amendment was adopted by our Faculty Senate on December 10th. It's recommended by our college president. And under the amendment, the Department Personnel and Budget Committees will be empowered to vote on the merits of promotion to full professor of candidates in their departments. The results of these committee votes will be forwarded to the review committees of the College Faculty Personnel Committee and to the full membership of the Faculty Personnel Committee. Now, without this amendment, John Jay would be bound to follow a different practice, which is in the bylaws of the university, but we are allowed to deviate from that practice if it is so specified in our college charter. And so we are making this change, in other words, to follow our longstanding practice and not be in violation of university bylaws.
Thank you. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second? Any questions? Being none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? The motion carries. Thank you very much. I would like to ask Provost William Tramontano to come forward. And thank you for having me at your wonderful graduation. That was my first time being at Brooklyn College graduation. It was a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you. These are the amendments to the governance plan of Brooklyn College, attachment IV-14. An earlier draft of this revised governance plan was distributed with the FSA agenda items. However, it did not contain all of our requested modifications. The draft that you have on the table right now is the most current one and contains all of our requested revisions, which I should say are part of the longer-term academic restructuring that we are doing right now at Brooklyn College. We have approved amendments that to 3 articles, and these articles were approved by the Brooklyn College Policy Council, which is the governing body of the college. In Article 1, the Policy Council provides the president with more discretion to appoint representatives from the administration to the Policy Council, and also provides for the selection of alternates for each constituency, the administration, faculty, and students. to serve with voice and vote at any of our meetings in the absence of their respective members. This was passed by our Policy Council on March 10th. Article number 4, the Council of Administrative Policy, to modify the composition of the Liaison Committee of CAP, which currently was comprised of 3 individuals, now to consist of 5 individuals. 5 chairs went from each of the new 5 schools at Brooklyn College. That was also approved by our Policy Council on April 7th. Our Committee on Promotion and Tenure, to accommodate the new 5-school structure and to provide for the role of the school deans in place of the provost. That was also put forward to our Policy Council and passed on March 10th. And finally, once again, with our Committee on Promotion and Tenure, deleted a sentence that is now irrelevant on the with the new 5-school structure, since we no longer have divisions. That was passed on 5/11 by our Policy Council.
Thank you. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
It's been moved in second. All in favor? Questions? Yes.
Who is currently on the policy council?
Policy Council currently is divided in thirds, 1/3 students, 1/3 faculty, 1/3 administration, as long as they are equal in number. Currently, it's a 27-person body, which is a little unwieldy, 9, 9, and 9. As long as we maintain the equal representation, we'll make it probably smaller, 6, 6, 6, or something of that nature.
Any other questions? Okay, may I have-
Just that this new structure, Madam Chairwoman, is very strongly supported by the Chancellor. When Karen Gould was in the process of being hired, we really asked her to think about reorganizing Brooklyn College from the way it was situated at the time, where how many department chairs reported to the Provost? 30?
I had 33 department chairs
33,
reporting to
and
the
unwieldy. And so I compliment the President, and you're doing just the right thing.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? The motion carries. Thank you very much.
Are you doing the other one as well? He's doing
Ah,
the other one too.
Continue.
The next is the naming of the Madeline Leventhal Rand Brooklyn College Class of 64 Chair in Literature, attachment IB-15. Madeline Rand is a 1964 alumna of Brooklyn College, a longtime teacher in New York City, and also an adjunct teacher at Brooklyn College. She was an active member of our board of the Brooklyn College Foundation and served as the foundation secretary. Madeline suffered for a long time with Lou Gehrig's disease and was taken from us just a few months ago. And in her memory, actually before she passed away, her husband Larry Rand established this chair in literature at Brooklyn College. We already have done a search and have a number of fine candidates for this position.
Thank you. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second?
Second, Madam Chair.
It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you very much. City College, we have a representative here from City College. Oh,
President Lisa.
I
is
didn't
here.
see President. I didn't mean to say it. I didn't see you back there. Welcome.
Thank you. This is about the naming of the J. Max Bond Architectural Center. J. Max Bond Jr., a partner of Davis, Brody & Bond, was one of the most influential African-American architects both in New York City and the United States. He was also a much-beloved professor and Dean of Architecture at City College. He was also a role model for minority architects and a voice of conscience within his profession. City College Architectural Center is a community design center or a clinic affiliated with the Bernard and Ann Spitzer School of Architecture that offers technical assistance and advocacy in planning and design for public and not-for-profit community-based organizations. And it concerns both physical and economic development in the neighborhoods. It provides a home for research on issues affecting urban environment and a forum for engaging the neighborhood community about design, public policy, and finance. It's therefore a privilege to recommend that this center be named after one of the greats in the field.
Absolutely. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second?
Just a question. I thought that at the board meeting, didn't we approve this before? Is this just a naming?
This is just the name.
Just the name. It was a creation before. I'm just clarifying.
And this
here.
is the name.
Okay, good.
Right.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Right, different things.
Okay, it's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, the motion carries. Thank you very much.
Because I remembered moving it at the board meeting. That's what I was
You're trying to have a deja vu
Deja
moment.
vu.
It's Groundhog Day, yeah.
This was, what you're recalling is the search that we're doing for that position, and
Right.
that's what you
Yeah.
recall. And Trustee Shorter is on the committee
Okay.
to look for the person.
Thank you.
President Meiskin. Welcome.
Thank you. I was asked to be very brief, and I can be. We have four names here, you'll see. Two are for professorships and two are for scholarship funds. The first one is Carolyn Norman Barnes Scholarship Fund. He's a former chair of our Queens College Foundation, and he's been a generous donor to the college, and he was very helpful in providing support for students who are living in the residence hall, so there's a study down here for him and his wife. The last one is a wonderful $1.5 million scholarship fund for students in music, which we were very happy to receive. And then we have two professorships, one in poverty and affluence, and the other one in our speech pathology programs. Those are $1 million each. So I ask for approval of it.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second. It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, the motion carries. Thank you very much.
Nicely done, Jim.
And now we'll move to the Chancellor's report. President Lisa, you're back. Introduce the appointment of a Senior Vice President and Provost. Oh, wonderful.
Thank you. It is truly a pleasure for me and a privilege for me to present Martin Moskovitz, most recently Professor of Physical Chemistry at UC Santa Barbara, as the new Provost at City College. He brings an international reputation and more than 30 years of experience in both research and teaching and administration, which will be a wonderful asset to the college. He also, not only is a physical chemist, he's been the Chief Technology Officer at API Nanotronics Corporation. He's been a co-founder and the patent holder of Spectrofluidics, a Santa Barbara nanotechnology company that detects trace amount of chemicals in airborne chemicals, which to me is wonderful for City College and for CUNY in terms of its entrepreneurship experience and the work in trying to forge new partnerships. He also absolutely loves the liberal arts. So you've got the best of both worlds, so it's my privilege.
Thank you. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second? It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? I said disapproval.
Opposed?
Opposed. Can't even think of the word because it's not even relevant. Disapproval and
Approval and opposed.
approval and opposed and abstentions. There being none, the motion carries. Thank you very
He's here.
much.
And
Oh,
Dr. Moskovitz is here.
Dr. Moskovitz, would you like to come forward? Thank you very much and welcome to the City University of New York.
Well, what can I say? I'm excited and honored. This is a great privilege to be in a dynamic place like the City University of New York, and especially its flagship campus, the City College. I look forward to many such meetings, and I especially look forward to working with and supporting the ambitious program and vision of our president.
Thank you and very welcome. Dr. Keyes. Appointment of a new acting vice president and chief operating officer.
Good evening, everyone. It's my delight to ask you to support Ron Thomas to serve as interim vice president for administrative affairs. Ron has been a part of the CUNY family at York for over 20 years, most recently serving as our dean for administrative affairs under Jared Postman, who, as many of you to go with it. But he's served for 20 years in increasingly responsible positions. He's been the director of EOC, he's been in adult and continuing ed, he's been in institutional advancement as well, and he's handled many areas, including budget development and implementation, strategic planning, business operations, capital facilities, fundraising, and the like. Ron has a BA in economics from Fordham and a master's in economics from the New School. So I ask for your support.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second? It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, the motion carries. Is Ron here with us? Oh, can't see anybody. Welcome to your next role at the university, and thank you for being a true CUNY scholar and a member of the team.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm happy to take on this new task, this new role, this new challenge at Yale College. Looking forward to the opportunity of working with my colleagues, many of whom I've known for quite some time, as well as the members of the Chancellery, dealing with some rather challenging issues, which I am sure we will get through.
Thank you, and welcome.
Thank you very much.
President Morales, would you come forward?
Madam Chair, it's a pleasure for me to ask the board to consider Mr. Ira Persky as acting Vice President for Finance and Administration of the College of Staten Island. Mr. Persky brings over 40 years of experience in higher education, the last 18 years as the Executive Director of the College's Staten Island's Auxiliary Services Corporation. He's been a principal leader in our residential life project. He brings, throughout his career, Mr. Persky has had oversight responsibility for budget, fiscal management, strategic operations, planning, facilities management, and human resource management.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second? It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, the motion carries. Is he with us today? Welcome. Welcome to your enhanced position and role at Staten Island. Thank you for agreeing to serve.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's certainly an exciting opportunity for me. I'm very pleased that President Morales has the confidence to offer me this position. It is trying times within the university, and I certainly hope to be able to work with all of you to help solve some of those.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
joining us. Hostess Community College is next. Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce, for your consideration, Nathaniel Cruz as our Vice President for Student Development and Enrollment Management. After a national search, sometimes it's good to know that the things that you need are right there on your campus. VP Cruz joined us in 1983 as a financial aid advisor and an English tutor, and has been at all schools in every capacity you can imagine in financial aid, admissions, counseling, assistant dean of students, and interim vice president for student development. Twice a CUNY graduate, there's no better advocate for the also students as VP Cruz. I'd like to make him for consideration before the board.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second? It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you very much and welcome to come and join us, and thank you very much for continuing to serve the university.
Well, thank you, Chancellor, Senior Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, and Vice Chancellors, Presidents, members of the board, and I want to thank my President and Hostess Community College, as well as my friends who are here to support me, and also those who couldn't make it here to support me. I want to thank them. And I want to express my gratitude for giving me this opportunity to serve as one of your Templar Knights of the university in fostering safe passage to the free academy.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much. Is Kenneth Norris?
It's right there.
Kenneth, for you. It's in 2 faculty appointments with waivers of the bylaws.
There are 2 faculty appointments that require the committee's approval. They are as follows. Item 1C5, appointment of Dr. Nancy Velazquez Torres as assistant professor with tenure in the Sikh department at John Jay College of Criminal Justice effective March 14, 2011. With waiver of the previous tenure requirement in section 6.2.c of the bylaws. Also, 1C6, appointment of Dr. Maria Ann Knelly as professor with tenure at Brooklyn College with waiver of the 1-year service requirement in section 62D2 of the bylaws effective August 25th, 2011. These personnel actions were voted on affirmatively by the campus's committees and are recommended by the college presidents. Both the Offices of Academic Affairs and Human Resource Management have reviewed and approved them. Madam Chair, I present these items for the committee's consideration.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second? It's been moved in second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, the motion carries. Thank you very much. Section 2 lists faculty appointments with immediate tenure and reappointments of faculty with early tenure pursuant to the bylaws. These items appear on the agenda for information purposes only and do not require a report or a vote by the committee. We will have the Vice Chancellor Waters report, but I just want to say, while I generally talk fast and get through meetings quickly, you notice that this has been a rather expedited process, even for me. But I wanted to say, because we do have a very important meeting with the students that have to be held in the next meeting, and so we wanted to get through that. And for that reason, I've asked Vice Chancellor Waters to abbreviate her report, because I don't want anyone to believe that a report on diversity deserves to be gone through in an expedited and shortened manner. So she will be giving a very brief report. We have been meeting over the last several weeks. I'm very proud of her work and the work of her staff, and so that we're not shortchanged, I've asked her just to give you an oversight, and we will have a more appropriate meeting and discussion on diversity at the university in the fall. Vice Chancellor Waters?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I give my abbreviated report on diversity, I do want to mention that there were 6 appointments below the level of Vice President that will appear on the Chancellor's University report in the ECP. 1 at BMCC, 1 each at BMCC, CSI, Hunter, Lehman, Medgar Evers, and Queensborough Community College. If there are any questions about those, I will certainly answer them. There also were 13 search waivers that were granted and will appear on the Chancellor's University report, 1 at CSI, 7 in the School of Professional Studies, and I must mention that those positions are all ones that were grant funded and are now moving on to the tax levy side of the House, and 1 each at Hostos, Hunter, Lehman, and there were 2 at the central office. On the diversity front, I do want to just give you a quick update. We are still in the middle of doing our diversity study. We are looking at an assessment of diversity activities over the past 10 years. We are doing a climate survey to determine attitudes and perceptions about diversity and inclusion in the university. And we are looking to identify effective practices within CUNY and at peer institutions. While the work is not yet completed, and we do expect it to be completed by the end of the summer, I did want to mention some of the themes that are emerging from our work thus far. For one, we think there is a need for a change in focus from an affirmative action model to a focus on developing a deeper and broader understanding of the academic case for diversity and inclusion, and we will be exploring this further. Another theme is that the university should consider establishing a university diversity council to oversee strategy, create synergy among the CUNY institutions, share best practices, and coordinate strategy. This body would have a broad charge and a high-level participation. And again, we will be delving into that as we learn more. Another emerging theme is that strong mentoring programs for junior faculty need to be established at every institution. And this is particularly important for underrepresented faculty, including women. Some colleges have these programs now, but others do not. And research shows that mentoring helps to retain underrepresented faculty. One other theme that's becoming apparent is that the campuses need to develop their own strategic diversity plans that are tailored to their institutions. It is very difficult to do this from a central perspective because there are so many specific situations that are on each campus. And one last theme, leadership matters. Presidents and provosts who make increasing faculty diversity a priority get results, and we want to look further at that as well. The next steps, we will be soliciting feedback on emerging themes from CUNY provosts and deans. Those meetings have already been set up. We will be interviewing key players who have implemented effective practices at peer institutions. We will be looking again at our internal data to see exactly where we are. And we expect to have a report to the Chancellor by August 1st of this year. So that's the work that we have been doing so far, and I just wanted to give you a highlighted version of where we're going with this.
And let me just add, having done the preliminary review of the report, my comment to Vice Chancellor Waters, and she is working on it, is that I'm not a mathematician, but it looked like if you do the distribution of diversity, the higher you get, the less it becomes diverse. And so I've asked her to look not only at the faculty diversity, but to look at the VP level and above diversity so that we make sure that we're leading by example. And so she is looking at that as well. I'm going to take this opportunity to welcome a very special student in my tenure here, and that's Dwight Peters, who is a proud graduate of BCC, and one of our outstanding student leaders, and I look forward to continued work and your growth at this university. Thank you. With that, may I have...
Congratulations, he just graduated.
He just graduated, but he's still continuing on his academic journey. That was just one step in that academic journey, so he's about to go on. Yes. Yes.
You mentioned that you'll be getting feedback from the deans and provosts. Will any of that feedback go deeper into line staff and associate professors, assistant professors? I think it's important to get not just sort of the titular leadership, but the folks that are working.
Actually, what happened, we reversed it. We actually started with talking with faculty who are so there have already been focus groups, and there have been strategy sessions that faculty have been invited to. We actually had groups set up by identity so that people who had different identities would give their own perspective of diversity. So we actually started at the ground level, but in doing that, realized that the leadership aspect of this needed to be pursued a little bit more, and that's why the meetings with the deans and the provosts have now been set up.
And if you haven't been interviewed, we will. Okay, that's wonderful. Are there any?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering how you selected the faculty focus groups that you.
We asked the campuses to identify people and to reach out to people, and they volunteered to sit in on focus groups. In some cases, there were certain individuals who were particularly interested and made that known to us, and we certainly invited them, but there was a call that was made, and it was primarily handled by the affirmative action officers on the campus.
Okay, I was going to ask who on the campus in particular, so was that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we look forward to more in-depth conversations in the fall. Are there any more questions, comments? There being none, may I have a motion for adjournment? Do I second? Moved in second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed?
Not bad.
Abstentions? I did it. Whoa.